Alright, let's just dive right into the action and see what we have ahead of us here. This is Strikey 1991 versus Drunk Viper in the Group H semi-final of Wandering Squires. Using the same map pack as the recently concluded Wandering Warriors. But it's for the lower ELO section players, so lots of brackets across different levels. This is Group H. I think we're in the 1000, 1100 ELO range. Exclamation mark rank and the player's nickname in chat, and it should show up if they have recent 1v1 activity. So exclamation mark draft. Let's bring it up here for the draft, and we have you can see what kind of cities they've chosen around here. So Koreans for Strikey, that's yeah, rough civilization to be up against on Nomad starts, I have to say, or Nomad. Any map really with Koreans now, especially when you have potential closing the map. And if you look at the minimap here, Strikey could actually wall here and wall here like long term. And the only place across is for Drunk Viper to do a transport masterpiece or something. So, which means that getting to the war wagons, powerful war wagons, is I shouldn't say easy here, but it's probably the plan for Strikey long term, since they're not starting or starting out close to each other here. I would say that war wagons, it won't be straight fat cast war wagons. I might be mistaken, but yeah. Bulgarians, though, they have lots of opportunities. They could go for their swordsman line because they get the men-at-arms longsword 200 swordsman upgrades instantly upon reaching each next age. But for Nomad, I'm kind of leaning more towards crap posts for map control and to deny the opponent's expansion that way. See, the players, they haven't really scouted a lot of the middle section here. So they don't know that this is actually a very viable place to dock. There's quite chunks of deep fish, and if either of them docks here and the other player doesn't realize, that's a lot of free fish food income. But for now, they've docked the sides, which is fine as well. 3 deep fish here for Drunk Viper. Strikey with a bit better dock here with more deep fish around here. Joey Puravida says that Bulgarians is favorite civ. He's the other semi-finalist, by the way. Yeah, they're good for sure. Unique tech for cavalry stirrups to have cavalry attack 33% faster. That's an underrated tech because it's simply not visible. So if you're able to get that in the Castle Age or whenever, and you're up against similar units, you'll actually win fights because of that in equal numbers. Conics, of course, a strong unit as well. Very good substitute for Bulgarians not having Paladin. Even though they're classified as an infantry civ, they have very strong cavalry options. Good options overall. As far as dealing with war wagons go, though, to some extent you could use the Crepost in that regard as well. You could use, place Creposts close to your core resources so the war wagons can't get too close. At least in the Castle Age you should be able to secure your resources that way. However, when it comes to the Imperial Age, Creposts are very fragile when it comes to trebuchet attacks, so it's more of a long-term thing. See some cow scouting here. Good scouting by Strikey on the left-hand side. This is almost like Team Island style spawn, but there's of course crossings on either side here. So I'm very curious to see if either of them goes for the middle lake here. Looks like there's some war luring going on for both sides here. Drunk Viper could of course try to take this boar away from Strikey, but it shouldn't really be worth the efforts given the distance here. Might as well just focus on personal economy here. Decent idle times here as well. It's not on the very high side. Drunk Viper, seed number 1 in the bracket if I'm not mistaken. He is a little bit ahead here in the development. But looks like the fish situation is different here. Strikey is better at adding fishing ships, so the overall eco is actually better for the blue player here. We'll see how many fish Strikey decides to invest to in the end. We'll have to scout for some more deep fish here, otherwise the fishing ships will go idle. But yeah, this looks kind of like a fast castle approach to me. Drunk Viper, only 4 on wood, so that would explain the lack of fish here. Maybe too few on wood to keep a consistent fish eco going there. That's a lot of Wilderness Queued. You could go Feudal Age at this point. Missing the second building, of course, but that's going to be either a lumber camp or a mill, maybe. Guess you could mill the deer or the berries down here, but they're taking their good old time here. It looks like we might see a fast castle style approach here. A little bit on gold for Drunk Viper, could be for the castle age, could be for naval fighting, but looking at the distance here. Oh, and that's what I was talking about. The shorefish is depleted, so now there's lots of idle economy here for Strikey. Yeah, the instant men-at-arms are fun. Distance-wise here, though, I'm not believing too much in the men-at-arms, but we'll see. It's a bit of a travel distance for the units to accomplish anything here. 5 fish versus 6 fish. Drunk Viper going up here at 27 population in the end. 22 villagers, 5 fish. Decent 22 villagers, 6 fish for Strikey, but with slightly higher idle TC time means that the Feudal Age will be kicking in significantly or a little bit later here. Not significantly, maybe 1 minute apart or something. Using the docking builder to build the houses here, both now on the way to the Feudal Age. I'm not seeing any second dock here, so there's not going to be any massive naval investment here. But we'll see. Oh, the barracks is out for Drunk Viper, so maybe we'll see some men-at-arms here after all. The food and gold situation certainly justifying it. Only 3 of them for now, so it's not going to be a huge mass. Think about men-at-arms in this situation. There's not really that much you can hit here. All the wood economy is right next to it easy, as you would expect on Nomad. And then there's the berries, but if you suspect the men-at-arms are coming, you could salvage your economy, your exposed economy through some small walls as well. So Fire Galley in the making for Drunk Viper, wants to contest the water here, does not know the location of Strikey's dock, and that might very well be in the middle here. So he's actually docking in the middle as well, which is good. Could get to scout the whole shoreline here, if he didn't already. And yeah, find when and where to hit. But here we go. Seeing the houses, knows that this is the location of Strikey. Let's see what the men-at-arms can do here. Oh, he never took that boar. Interesting, scouted the boar but never took it. And for Strikey, barracks, blacksmith market here. Maybe planning the archers, or crossbows rather. Good reaction there, tries to house wall the men-at-arms out, but failing to do so. Good army control by Drunk Viper as well to dodge the potential TC fire there. And now moving on to the berries. Let's see. That should be... Yeah, they can't really get her, I think. Again, good army control, pulling them away, not risking running into the TC fire here. But will these foundations be enough to keep these 3 men-at-arms out? Only 3 of them. Nothing too crazy. And now the first fire galley is moving out to punish Strikey's fish eco as well. But look at this. It's not straight fast castle for Strikey here. It's actually 2 docks. Strikey wants naval control, but guess what? Even if Drunk Viper loses the battle on the edges of the map here, there's potential in the middle as well. Oh, again, we're dodging the potential TC fire. Strikey chooses not to garrison here, but saves the villagers. No, 1 villager killed, so I missed 1 eco unit over here. I guess that is It could be fish. I couldn't tell whether it was a villager or a fish at this point. But looks like Strikey is going to salvage the fish economy here and keep going. And he has the better dock as well. So definitely we'll want to keep that naval control. Now Drunk Viper does the right thing, moves on to a different resource just to keep the opponent occupied. And behind this actually on the way to the castle as well. So these... Oh, they're in actually! Whoa! Yeah, negative armor for the houses. That is backfiring as Strikey now. Going to lose some villagers here. Yeah, deletes the walls there. Is off gold now. That is going to be of concern. Actually not mining stone. What's the plan here for Strikey? Is it just a boom into whatever here? So, I mean, the wood situation is fine. But no stone, no gold access. All in all, actually, not a very great starting spot for Strikey here with the golds and stones so far away. Yeah, I love that they added negative armor to the houses. It's much easier to break in, the way it should be when you are investing into military. You could still repair them though, which is ridiculous. Repair speed is insane in this game. We're going for the good old getting the opponent housed strategy here, but that's not going to work for Strikey. Here comes the defensive tower. With the Koreans, when you get to the castle age, that's actually going to become a guard tower, so it's... It's okay. Wanting to secure the gold here, but this placement, it's neglecting the infantry movement, yes, but it doesn't secure the gold. So another tower will have to be made, and there's not really stone for that for Strikey. Strikey playing it defensively on water here mainly, but now moving the fire galleys out. We'll find 5 fish to kill here. I think a Drunk Viper will just abandon this one and go for the middle fish instead. Actually, it didn't make any fish here at all. Only fire galleys. There's no reason to make fire galleys here. There's no dock whatsoever for Strikey. So, so that's yeah. Of course, it doesn't matter. 1 or 2, that's fine. Then you can scout a little bit, see if there are any docks here. If there aren't, you don't need to worry. No docks, no problem. So here comes the range for Strikey. 1 longswordsman, hero longswordsman trying to take out this tower over here. Oh, they didn't know that the middle pond wasn't connected. Ah, makes sense. That is unfortunate in that case, because military-wise it's actually kind of similar here. Bulgarian cav archers hype! So, Bulgarians, they only get archers, not crossbow, not arbalest, but they do get cav archers with almost full upgrades. They're just missing the last armor, which is... yeah, you know, it's a good unit. Fantastic for raiding, and even if the TC is close here, you could just move about and dodge the TC fire, see? Idling lots of wood income here and then just running away. Thumbring coming in as well, that's essential for cav archers for firing rate. In the meantime, Strikey is TCing a stone here and will be planning long term for that castle for the war wagons and for securing home base here. Winning water as well, except for the middle pond where Drunk Viper isn't fishing at all except for the short fish, so that's not too much of a concern at this point. Strikey keeping the fish is at an equal lead here, 8 fish, 31 villagers, but overall villager count is lower, so the general resource income of Strikey is potentially lower than Drunk Viper, who seems to be more consistent with spending the resources here as well, keeping them consistently low, producing villagers, army, all that stuff. There's one very exposed woman here, but the cav archers either didn't see it or didn't want to risk moving in there. Funnily enough, the cav archers could be used to punish the fish a little bit here, wherever the fish are. Maybe that's what they're looking for. Just scouting, but good scouting by Drunk Viper, by the way, who knows mostly everything across the map except for the fish, but he won't be contesting that fish easily anyway now that Strikey has the numbers over here. Stone mining, Krepos, castle, who knows? Castle over here would be nice. It was so quiet. No idea what you mean by that, Vasigli. Forward Seed Workshop now coming up. Strikey will see that, actually. With the extra builder line of sight, I think is kind of saving him here, unless he has Town Watch in as well. It was so quiet that I thought my headset ran out of charge. Yeah, the phone. Yeah, but I could turn up the volume if it's too low. I have a little bit of a... It just usually feels like it's too low. Game sound I could also turn up if it's on the low end. But I'm at like 3.6% off maximum. Here comes the castle. Will the coward just see this? This is huge. If Drunk Viper sees the castle foundation, he could... he's getting lucky here. He sees the castle going up. He could delay that so much here. He's going to get villager kills. No ballistics for the Cavouches, but as we know, Clambering is in, so they are firing quickly. Some defensive skirms here. Good call by Strikey. And I guess the castle goes up eventually, but it's still... costing some builders' lives here. 14 eco units killed by Drunk Viper, in fact. Here comes the Mangonel. It's too late. This castle goes up. The Mangonel needs to back off. Could try and dive and get a few more villagers here, and there they go. And a couple of Cavouches will die to the castle fire now that it's up. But yeah, still decent work at least delaying that castle from going up. And Drunk Viper keeps the score lead here and starts to push where the castle fire isn't a concern. No elite skirm for Strikey, so the Cavouches don't really need to worry here. 15 and counting double ranges producing, while Strikey isn't really currently investing into any military. Alright. So yeah, consistent army production here. Drunk Viper is seed 1 for a reason. He seems very consistent with the general production here. We see the not war wagons, skirmishers inside the castle. So no war wagons just yet. Strikey is kind of struggling a little bit for wood here, because the main source of wood has been close to his TC, and that's been sort of obstructed here by the aggression. I mean, if not for the Cavoucher investment, Drunk Viper could consider dropping some, making some ramps here and push through. But there's a forward castle coming down here as well, and which, kind of neglects Strikey expansion here. So I think that's also a decent castle. It only denies the farming economy and some production here, so it's not ideal, but long term for Imperial Age and Trebuchets, this is of course a good position to have a forward castle. Not joking around here. 60 villagers to 55, so they're both consistent with the villager production here. 3 TCs for Drunk Viper, so and now also producing out of all 3, so that lead might escalate a little bit for the yellow player here. So Strikey is scrambling to keep that TC alive, but I think that's a lost cause at this point with both Mangonels and Cavouchers pounding away here. War Wagon is out, but not a dangerous amount, to put it that way. Even the Cavouchers could deal with small amounts of War Wagons when they are outnumbering this match. I mean, mass always matters, obviously. At idle this time though, yeah, it's on the higher end, but still in the lead here. I guess with the wheelbarrow for Strikey, Strikey is technically not that far behind. And finally the TC goes down. Drunk Viper could steal those farms now. If he wants to make use of the forward builders, he could drop a mill here and convert some of the farms. Stone walls to the south now. I like the initiative, but will they go up in time? There's also Varigalis patrolling here for Strikey, so with some luck, Strikey will be able to deny that that walling approach. Here comes the woman though. Some very weak builders here, so if Drunk Viper decides to send the Cav Archers over and raid here, that's some potential easy kills there. Now this tower looks a lot smarter actually. It kind of will be getting some hits in on the Cav Archers as they move through another tower as well. Strikey playing it nicely defensively here, but it's falling behind in total population, both in terms of military numbers and in strength. Yeah, and I'm gonna get some builders here. Maybe it doesn't worry too much about the guard towers here. The Cav Archers have one armor, so ballistics finally coming in. That's going to make it easier for the Cav Archers to hit moving targets like the war wagons that are now 5 in the numbers. Thumbring coming in for the war wagons and indirectly the skirmishers as well. Should increase the firing rate a little bit, but that's usually more important for Cav Archers and yeah, crossbows. I think Drunk Viper at this point could afford another range here and produce from. It's still only 2 ranges. I see Bloodlands is in. I don't know about. I don't think Husbandry is in yet. It should be 154 with Husbandry. There's stone enough for multiple castles here as well. I'd like to see a castle of Trepos down here as well, and maybe in the crossing over here where it's already walled, because then there's just no easy way for Strikey to make a comeback. Strikey still has the water, so Strikey could make a transport ship and try and get the landing in down over here to get some counter raid in. Maybe transport over some war wagons and just be annoying, but you need to think of that as well, so it's not always as easy to get to. Skirmishers and war wagons here should be a challenge for the Cav Archers to deal with. More eco being added as well, and yeah, that's a lot of Cav Archers going down. But as we can see from the economy here, no problem to replenish. At this point, I think Drunk Viper would benefit from moving some villagers away from stone to, for example, food, to facilitate that transition towards the Imperial Age. He already has the castle up, does not, and 2 buildings for that matter. Castle counts as the 2 buildings needed for Imperial Age. We also have the monastery and siege workshop here, so definitely meets the requirements. Could even sell all the stone and buy food to go Castle Age, the Imperial Age here, so these castles can't produce war wagons anymore. I mean, while it's not the most viable way to do things, Imperial Age would make a huge difference here to deal with the defensive castle, then raid the opponent to death with the cavalry archers, and now conics as well. No defense on them though, so they are going to struggle a bit against the war wagons. Let's see if they can get the surround here. You could also delete the building foundations to allow the surround, but the conics, yeah, the conics are beating up the war wagons. But look at this Imperial Age for Strikey here. So Strikey will have access to trebuchets, which means that this forward castle could be short-lived. There are some builders here to repair it though. Some fish in the middle for Drunk Viper, so there's some welcome food income there. Look at the food source here. If there's a market at all for Drunk Viper here, and there is indeed, you could just buy that remaining food, get to that Imperial Age as well. Especially now that Strikey is in the Imperial Age as well. 2 traps in the queue. It's not the end of the world for Drunk Viper to lose this castle. He still has the army momentum and definitely has the villagers lead. But yeah, getting to that Imperial Age is of importance now, and if this forward castle is not that kind of... that sets back Drunk Viper a little bit. There's still enough stone for 2 more castles though, so if this one goes down, to just build one a little bit further back, but it delays the push. Here comes the Cav Archers to raid again. Husbandry is in now, and Maybe counting a little bit on Strikey and not being able to, or not reacting here, being busy with other stuff. Lots of builders going down here. Why aren't you garrisoning, Strikey? Well! Yeah, that's some good value from the coverage. Look at the Eco KD, 41 to 5 here. Oh, Strikey feels confident now. It's comfortable enough to re-DT over here. This forward castle is going down. Drunk Viper now going for some crepos to double up on the Conix production, maybe. But, I mean, Bulgarians, they have a very swift ride towards Siege Ram as well. Come the Imperial Age, the Bulgarians could get to Siege Ram for only 625 or 675 wood. 650 food, I think, for Siege Ram, because they have half price on all of the Siege Workshop techs. And even Onagir comes to mind, actually, for the Bulgarians here. Cav Archers are arguably going to waste here, but they've certainly proven their worth through the raids, and Drunk Viper, now with the castle, will be starting to produce trebuchets as well. And should this castle go up, it's denied for now, but should it go up, it should be going down rather quickly again with the trebuchets. Conscription before trebuchets though. Lots of stables here, light cab, hussars maybe, comes to mind. So many units dying here in the fight, and but the stables, which even Conix should just melt the... Are they elite skirmishers? Yeah, of course they are elite skirmishers here, so that's not a concern. Here comes Hussar, here comes Parthian Tactics, so Drunk Viper is still going to invest into those Cav Archers as well. Cav Archer Hussar seems to be the weapon of choice for Drunk Viper here. Where are the trebuchets though? There's only one castle for Strikey until he gets this one up, so if you delete or kill the castles, no more war wagons to worry about, and that's the main cause of concern in this matchup, if you ask me. They are so beastly, the war wagons, when they get to critical mass. Another forward castle going down, no repairs being attempted here. There are some monks here, they could convert to war wagons, but yeah, another forward castle goes down. Where are the trebs being made now? All the way back here for Drunk Viper, who is now at 12 military to 31. Is Strikey making the comeback here? Is Strikey the stronger post-imp player? That's the question. So it's still lots of yellow on the map here, right? So much. Middle control as well. Could use ships to raid the land here. I don't know off the top of my head if Bulgarians get Bombard Galleon, but if they do get Cannon Galleon, you might be able to range the castle as well. And here comes another defensive castle. Now 3 trebs from the castle at home here, so if Drunk Viper is subject to a trebuchet push... Oh, that's a grappost actually. But if Drunk Viper is subject to a trebuchet push over here, he will have his own treb to deal with that. Hussar number is increasing as well. Having lost the castle, I have my doubts that Stirrups is in. But, well, actually we can check that. Oh, he has it actually. He has Stirrups. So the Hussars are deceivingly quick here. They attack 33% faster, right? And these trebs are going down. It's huge value for Drunk Viper. And look at the resources. Drunk Viper's boom is just off the charts compared to Strikey here. And yeah, I can definitely afford to lose units here. Not too sure about the stables here for Strikey. What the plan is with those. Could be for husbandry for the war wagons, maybe. But now look at this, 23 to 9 and massive eco difference here. Lots of wood in the bank. Could easily queue up a lot more of Cav Archers now. Just drop a few more ranges and spam those Cav Archers if that was indeed the weapon of choice. Cav Archer Hussar, the eco is definitely set up for that. Maybe a little low on the gold for consistent Cav Archer flow, but yeah, Hussars will be doing a lot as well. Good raids here. Ooh, but we have a landing on the other side, I think. Our villager snuck through somehow. Yeah, probably a landing. I actually have no idea how this guy got over here. Could be a docking villager from long ago as well. And that's the only villager on this side of the wall. So if Drunk Viper gets that one, that means no sneaky raids from Strikey on that right hand side. Hussar flow. Trebuchets joining in, so these castles are massing up. Why doesn't this blue guy type the GG? Now he does. There it is. Yeah, it is rough, the eco difference here, especially. Cav being the most made unit here according to the stats, but... Alright. Let's browse through the stats and find game number 2 in a moment. Serbs is in even elite conic in the end. That says something about the eco advantage here for Drunk Viper to be able to afford all these things. Yeah. See, Drunk Viper establishing a lead here and then never really going back. The world pop is... the population is consistently ahead for the yellow player. So, let's pull up the second game. We have some restores in this set, so it's going to be a bumpy ride to get to some of the conclusions of the games. But for now, game 2 is coming up. It's on Inundation, first map of Strikey. Ule. How called her? Yeah. Ule. Yeah, I need some way to fill the voids between the pauses here. Alright. Inundation is coming up here. That is the second map and the first home map of Strikey. Going for the Aztecs here, teasing the gold in the middle, while Drunk Viper places the house in the middle, moves with the other two villagers to go straight for a wood line. And I feel like it's a it's a better call to go for the wood line straight away, because you'll need the wood, you'll need to go farming, you'll need the wood, period. There's no wood in the middle, right? Some stragglers actually, but that's not going to sustain you very long. So, but in Strikey's defense, Strikey is going to get the TC up first, then he could move these villagers to the side, and then drop a lumber camp and start collecting. Why is the water... Is that has to be a capture H bug. Maybe not. Yeah, anyway. Is this Golden Nomad? Yeah, but there's a map called Golden Hill as well, Dennis, so... but yeah, let's call it Golden Nomad. It's called Inundation. So there's definitely food in the middle here. There are ibexes to be eaten. I'm sure there are advantages to claiming the middle control. But look at this. Drunk Viper scouting the sides here, finding the sheep. Well, has found quite a few sheep to assist with the scouting already. We'll also be able to find some of the boars, while Strikey has quite limited scouting in the middle here and didn't even go for a lumber camp yet, which is very concerning, because at some point Strikey is going to need more wood for houses and the buildings to go up or whatnot. So I'm a bit concerned about the heavy emphasis on food to begin here, but maybe this guy is going to drop a lumber camp. Is this auto horse? Yeah, you're probably right, Dennis. Alright, so finally the lumber camp. Maybe Strikey is fine after all. You start with extra wood. Could potentially dock early on here, but there's, aside from middle control with demolition ships and stuff like that, as you can see there... Wait, you can't dock! Never mind, you can't dock on this map. Sorry. You literally can't dock on this terrain. So I'm lying. Oh no! No! Oh, stupid wildlife! Rip Strikey's villager and rip Lumbercamp for the time being. At least they're going to get revenge on the tiger here. Tiger, you bad boy. Why do you keep killing? innocent villagers like that. Bam. He dead. So again, I will commend Drunk Viper on the scouting here. Maybe I should just say Viper, huh? And Magyar's OP confirmed. Yes, Magyars kill wolves or wildlife in one strike. So, makes sense. So this guy didn't get his morning coffee. It was a bit late to get to work here. Horses crossing each other's ways here. Look at the strikey's, Drunk Viper's greedy scouting approach here. Finds lots of sheep here to eat. Has the boar over here, has a boar over here. It looks like a very good start for Drunk Viper with the Malians here. Is that the panic house I saw? Ah, maybe. But that's an impressive idle TC time for Drunk Viper. Only 2 seconds so far. But Strikey with the earlier TC is at a lead here. Even with idle TC time here, getting a TC up so much faster might actually work into Strikey's favor here. Yeah, so it was a panic house, okay. I see. Did find a boar here, that's scouted, so that's good. Horse out on the move over here. Has found the Drunk Viper's location, so that's good news for Strikey. Whenever Strikey will start pushing over here. For the sake of progression, I will actually toggle the fast forward for a little bit here, because I don't think we'll see any significant action now until the feudal age kicks in. So it's just a bit of a time saver to get through both of the sets here. I'm going to slow it down once we get to the feudal age. So they're both collecting sheep. Drunk Viper again has like 8 sheep left to eat here. That's enough on his own to get to the next stage. Malians save wood on all wooden buildings except farms as well. So they have a very easy way around things. If they may need to make a tech switch into a different unit, it's going to be cheaper for them than for other civilizations. Drunk Viper, still at 2 seconds of idle TC time, is actually catching up here. Strikey at 27 wheels, Drunk Viper at 25. But, I jinxed him actually, so now going up to higher idle TC time here for Drunk Viper as well, which is a bit unfortunate with the... It's not really lack of food being the issue here. It looks like we're approaching the feudal age, and we'll see Strikey trying to assume some middle control here. It's going up. Yeah, the idle time. Yeah. Double ranges for Strikey here. Expecting Drunk Viper's infantry play, maybe. And with that said, with double range archers, you can respond well to most of the things Malians will open with. Of course, their infantry has extra pierce armor as we move through the ages, but since you have 2 ranges, you'll be able to mass more archers more quickly. I don't know what Strikey is he aiming for, a semi-fast castle time here, or just planning to go for some extended feudal age here. As we can see, Drunk Viper just now clicked the castle age, has the range up as well, has maybe seen or expected the Aztecs range play here. First archer moving right out, and Drunk Viper says, no, we aren't gonna have any of that. You don't even have more than 1 archer, so let's just try and beat you down with my mighty villagers. Vil warriors, indeed. So, Drunk Viper with the tower. What is with these players and the tower replacements here? I mean, I guess it's to avoid the archers, but this isn't a very helpful tower to secure the gold, because the archers will just sit over here and annoy the gold regardless. Double rangers for the Malians as well. So, both civilizations actually lacking some core upgrades, but Malius may be the worst arbalest here of the two because they don't have Bracer. Aztecs, I believe, don't get that last armor. And maybe they don't get Thumbring either, or something like that. Yeah, at least they're lacking a little bit in the archers department. But this is not going to be an extended fuel age here. We have the archers for Drunk Viper that will be becoming crossbows with Bodkin eventually, and suddenly these fuel age armies are no threat whatsoever for Drunk Viper. Yeah, you could camp the archers under the tower as well, that's true. So even if the tower is here, you need to wall it in to make sure that the archers can't just camp and evade the tower fire until you can get defense in the... Until you can get burner holes in the castle age, that is. Here comes the Siege Workshop, so Drunk Viper with the castle age advantage here will be starting a strong push on Strikey's side here. Here comes the market for Strikey is pretty heavy on gold, so could use that gold to buy the way to the castle age here. And since Drunk Viper is massing archers, crossbows mostly, with this kind of gold control, Eagles would make sense here, I think. However, if Eagles enter the field, it's an easy switch for the Malians to drop some stables and go for cavalry to deal with that, so it's not necessarily the best option. Let's see if Strikey can find some damage here. We'll harass the economy under the TC a little bit. You'll see that Drunk Viper is on stone as well, so Drunk Viper will eventually want to get a castle up in the middle, maybe just right on Strikey's TC even. I like the usage of the stray armies here for Strikey. We see the Eagle switch is indeed on the way here. I think we have two... Yeah, two in the queue, so not too... Oh, don't chase, you'll die! Ah, he dodges. Good bird. One Woodline or one Lumbercamp being idled here, and Drunk Viper with more panic houses here to make sure it doesn't get housed in the crossbow massing process here. The Eco KD is very low. The only player with kills in the Eco so far is Gaia, the Tiger killing one of the Strikey's villagers early on. Unfortunate being stuck in fuel and not doing damage, yes. But also not taking significant damage. So you look at the idle T times, they're similar. And which means that the villager count should be somewhat similar as well. And Aztecs do have a better economy. They do carry 3 more resources per trip. Tiger OP, please nerf. Exactly. So Strikey floating lots of gold here. It looks like to me that Strikey wants to go for the Eagles here. But also going for Bodkin with still a healthy chunk of archers and skirmishers to benefit from that. Could camp around at this side with this army and still get some kills in. But is the crossbow investment worthwhile here? Is the defense in for the... No upgrades on the Eagles! No! You won't stand a chance against crossbows with fuel age Eagles with no defense upgrades. Oof. Skirmishers getting some decent trades here, all things considered. Eagle Warrior is on the way, but honestly, defense is so much more important. It increases the Pierce armor, and that's what makes Eagles so resistant to ranged fire. They have high speed and high Pierce armor when you get to the proper upgrades, so it's, yeah. Eagle Warrior in itself, I think it is a good upgrade. It's not the first one necessarily you'll be getting. 517 stone now for Drunk Viper, placing another TC on stone as well. So again, long-term plans of a middle castle here. 2 TCs in fact, also on the stone. So castles galore eventually when Drunk Viper gets those TCs up and gets to collect more stone. Very nice army advantage here. 23-2 here. Strike his home map pick may not be working out as intended here. Two Mangonels now pushing that one middle TC, and where is Strikey going to find gold if not in the middle? I don't think there's gold on the sides at all, there's only stone. Render again. Yeah, exactly. So Eagle Warrior is in. We're still lacking the defense upgrades, and they are so important. However, they could dive in and kill the Mangonels rather quickly. And Mangonels only have 50 HP, so the Eagles with their 7 attack, and then they have some bonus against Siege. As you can see here, 3 bonus damage against Siege. They don't need many hits to deal with the Mangonels. We'll see that now. Maybe they'll get to snipe this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 hits. 5 hitting the Mangonels. So 1 Mangonel down, good snipe from Strikey there, keeping that fighting spirit going here. Idlety's time is high for both, so there's not a significant villager difference here, aside from the fact that Drunk Viper has killed a whooping 11 eco units and is placing a castle right on the starting TC in the middle of Strikey. This is a ruthless castle right here. It's going to idle so much economy. Ooh, but Strikey has been mining stone for a counter castle as well. Will Drunk Viper, will he snipe the foundation? Oh, he could have taken out the foundation with the Mangonel there with some luck. Guess, I mean, there aren't a whole lot of villagers building here. Maybe that gets denied. Maybe that gets denied, at least for now. But the crossbows should be denying this one as well, and that is going to be huge losses for Strikey. I can't believe there's only 2 villagers difference between his 2 players right now, with the amount of villager kills that Drunk Viper has been getting, and the fact that he's on 3 TCs and producing. Castle goes up! How? How? Oh man. So Drunk Viper getting overconfident here, not committing enough villagers to the forward castle, and somehow Strikey is able to deny it and get his own castle up. Obviously affecting the resource income and villagers' working time here, but it goes up. Securing the middle. It's a nightmare to try to take out castles in the castle age. It really takes, you need like 6, 7, 8 rams, and even the rams die easily to villagers. And considering we have Aztecs here, you could just add some Eagle Warriors in the mix as well. Oh, things calm me down a little bit in the middle here. Neither player is even remotely close to the Castle Age here. Imperial Age, of course. Castle Age, they are already in. So whoever gets the Imperial Age first will be able to deal with any opponent castles. Drunk Viper, did he actually lose? No, there's another castle going up, and that should be fine, depending on how many villagers build it. 5 villagers. There are 3 more here that could help out as well. Yeah, the crossbows were out of position, but still, you had a lot of crossbows, so the main issue was not having enough villagers building the castle, I think. Extending the economy while Drunk Viper is dropping some outposts now to get some idea of the side here. We'll see a TC going up. Is he going to... Okay. Just passing. She's like the supervisor of the building project over here. Another outpost over here, okay. Right in the tower fire, in a random tower, protecting the woodline on strike here. Probably built that quite a while ago, before the TCs and everything, to make sure that the woodline is safe. Yeah, you're not gonna get to build that outpost, young woman. You really should be... Oh, come on! What's this? Why? Why do you... Why do you keep insisting upon... Oh, Drunk Viper really wanted to get some vision over here, but nope, that's not allowed. Strikey will have none of it. Couple of castles in the middle now, eagle numbers increasing. Could be an issue for Drunk Viper, he's still committing to the crossbows. However, if you see eagles, make Geppettos. They have a ranged melee attack. Should be fine. That outpost was part of his win condition. Must go up. Yes. So yeah, a third range going up for Drunk Viper here, still committed to the crossbows, which is a mystery to me, given that he knows by now that there are eagles on the field. At the very least, you'll need a complementary unit. Maybe the Geppetto, or maybe just some kind of cavalry units go for the knights or whatever. Some more mobility here would pay off for Drunk Viper, I think, to get some knights out on the field, but get that +2 defense and just start camping TCs and at the very least, idle economy. Here comes Striker with a defensive castle, so it's really fortifying the position on the sides as well to make raiding rather difficult here. Some eagle raids here from Strikey. Villager count dead even, that is going to change as these upgrades coming. First, the traps is going to make a huge difference indeed. Then suddenly defensive castles aren't a foolproof defense anymore. These are some good raids though, but still only +1 defense for the eagles. I'd love to see the +2 defense at least, so you could camp TCs more easily. If you get, say, 20 eagles with full upgrades on arson, you could start eating TCs no problem, because their pierce armor is high enough to justify that. So that's of concern on these maps. Another TC on stone on wood here for Drunk Viper. 9 on stone total here now. We'll be able to drop another castle. Will it go down forward? Could of course deny gold and farming eco from this direction or this direction. 71 Bill Wheelbarrow. Hey, at least you're getting it. Strikey is up to the Imperial Age here, so I think Drunk Viper can kiss this castle goodbye unless he musters food enough to go in ASAP here. Maybe Aztecs will take back the middle control for good here and control all the gold. Aztecs with gold, that is a solid win condition right there. You could just spam those elite eagle warriors into oblivion and you'll close out the game nicely. Crossbow raids for Drunk Viper. Doesn't seem to care too much about the watchtower over here, just aiming for villagers. So counter raid, they're good at the raids, these players. Not so good with reaction time when being raided, unfortunately. That's a lot of villagers that are going to waste here. That could have been garrison on the side of TC, but there's probably something else going on here, calling for the attention. That is a lot of villagers. 38 villagers killed by Drunk Viper so far. And only one villager inside the TC, so these crossbows can just sit here. It's going to take them a long while. It's the MTC, maybe they can kill it. If you were Saracens here now, maybe you could actually deny Imperial Age. Ballistics is in as well. So obviously hitting moving targets is a lot more easy. Look at the difference now. Strikey losing so many villagers and not replenishing them because one TC is busy researching Imperial Age, and the food count isn't too impressive either, given the situation. This crossbow group has been getting amazing value for Drunk Viper here. Just look at the kills here. 21 kills, 18 eco kills for these 8 crossbows. Yeah, don't let Drunk Viper camp archers and do it easy. It's true. Just garrison and be done with it. See, eagles missing the +2. Suddenly they are no match for the crossbows in decent mass here. We're getting, I think they got 1 or 2 there, but yeah, these crossbows are MVP. Look at all the kills they're getting. Imperial Age is in for Strikey, probably making the traps. Yeah, I'll deal with the castle in the middle, while Drunk Viper is setting up on the sides. But Malians? Trash, I don't know. Castle Age trash at that. It's using the market here now to aim for Imperial Age. I think it's a reaction to Strikey reaching the Imperial Age here. So I want to see more Eagles from Strikey, and of course eventually the Imperial defense and Elite Eagle. Again, the attack upgrades, they don't matter that much for Eagles. You want to get the defense. Pierce armor is crucial. And Elite gives some extra HP, I think, but that's inexpensive. It's like 800 food, 500 gold, or the other way around. So that's a bit further off here. However, the Treb is doing work here. No repairs, though. Panic repairs from the villagers. Will they make it? Yes, they will. And now Crossbow's going down. Drunk Viper is losing the grasp of the game here now. Panic repairs, but he's going to have to repair for a long time here to keep this castle alive for 3 more minutes to counter Treb here. He's also making Geppettos, as mentioned earlier. That is a good reaction to the Eagles. High attack, high range melee attack on the Geppettos. So if you get to oh, we cancel them actually. But yeah, if you get to a decent amount, you'll be able to deal with stuff. Oh, Coldner giving Dennis the sub. Nice. For any new viewers, these are my own custom alerts. And so I've played and arranged them myself. Goes for the follower alert as well. You'll hear the attack sound from in-game, which I recorded on my horn because it's the same instrument playing that. 2 builders, 1 trap. Yeah, I don't think they repair fast enough and quickly enough, actually, so the Treb should be able to deal with this castle, but Strikey is sort of trickle trapping here now, should definitely be adding more... Well, no, don't let the castle kill your Treb! Where are you going? Ah! No! Is this like a ritual sacrifice to win the game or something? Misclick, probably. It happens to all of us in the heat of the moment, but that's unfortunate that 1 Treb is going down and Drunk Viper is reaching the Imperial Age as well. Keeping the castle alive somehow. All Strikey needed here was another Treb, an additional Treb, and this castle would never stand with only 2 villagers building. Elite Eagle Warriors in those, that is going to be a headache for Strikey to deal with. Select all military hotkey, yeah, I wouldn't know, I don't use those. So maybe, yeah. I'm using 2002 hotkeys, so I wouldn't know about that. So only 2 built now for Strikey, feeling the impact of the raids that happened earlier, especially with the crossbow group up over to the right. But when being raided, you need to replenish villagers as well and get back into it, and the TCs aren't really producing, so Strikey won't be bringing in nearly enough resources to mass units. Another Treb is out, which is good news. It's perfectly covered by the castle here as well. And yeah, Drunk Viper will have to keep repairing here, but the gold situation, stone situation, sorry, is still able to keep up with that. We see the Longswordsman coming in here, and also chemistry for the arms, but Longswords, more importantly, to deal with the Eagles. And funnily enough, should the Aztecs go back into the ranged units to deal with the longswords here, they are Malian longswords or 200 swordsmen, so so they get extra pierce armor. They don't have any defense upgrades just yet, though. So, 18 military to 28. Strike actually in the military lead again. There it's all Eagles, but as we can see, these raids are going to be heck of annoying. They're missing the Imperial Age armor. That is so important for the Eagle Warriors. So that one needs to come in, but the Arabs, they should struggle. Until Drunk Viper can get those longswords up here, he's in a pickle because the Eagles will shred even... here it comes actually. And they'll win anyway because they have decent attack as well. They're quick, they have high attack. And yeah, Malians don't have the last armor yet. Oh, they're Bailing. Diving for the traps as well. Good army control by Strikey here now. Drunk Viper is going to lose the traps. Will struggle to counterattack here. Struggle to claim the middle, which is so important for both of them. At least for Malians, the gold lasts longer. So it's not a disaster if you don't control all of the golds. As long as you have access. But yeah, here come the 200 swordsmen as well. 13 of them now dealing with most of the eagles just now, getting that last armor upgrade. If this castle goes down, that's really bad news for Strikey, because then the army mass, the 200 swordsmen, they could just melt all of the buildings in the middle here. Eagles still making life awkward over here. A defensive castle in place as well, always getting some hits on the eagles before they can get over here. The castle has ballistics because Drunk Viper was playing archers earlier. Let's see in the middle that castle is indeed down. The 200 swordsmen are on the move. The eagles try to snipe the trebs again, but it's getting more and more awkward as the 200 swordsman numbers increase. Now getting the attack. No defense! I guess attack is more important against the eagles, but with the defense you could much more comfortably stay underneath TCs as well. I guess with the traps and bombard cannons, though, Drunk Viper will claim the middle here, set a convincing 4,000 score lead here. I was going to say maybe wall off the middle, but there's not really any point in trying to wall off here because you can't build on this terrain anyway. The GG is called. Strikey losing the first home map here. And Drunk Viper up 2-0. And Strikey, the lower seed of these two, will have to perform a solid reverse sweep to make it to the finals here. But never say never. We might be getting there. Let's have a look at the stats. Yeah, look at all these upgrades coming in. Even hoardings for the castle of Drunk Viper. That's probably why Strikey struggled to take it out with one trap as well. Getting that extra hit points. Always reacting to the movement of units he sees. Seeing the eagles, for example, going into the swordsman line. It's just like Drunk Viper is just 1 inch ahead in many of the decisions here. Still is being forced to work for the money. Both games here is work for the win, rather. Uptimes not too dissimilar here. Much faster castle for Drunk Viper, but Strikey claimed that middle control with fantastic defense against the castle drop. Got the castle up on his own. And finally the APM chart to get an idea of the actions queued throughout the game here. It is time for game 3. And we'll be right on with it. I just need to close the window before it gets a little bit too cold here. Be right back. Alright, switching the overlays here. So we have Drunk Viper up 2-0, but now the map in question is Grapple, which is Strikey's second home map. Last home map, in fact, for a best of 5. So the players start with a transport ship. I guess maybe they start in the middle, I don't know. But they're settling out on the side here, on the woodlands, as is customary for Nomad. Oh, this is a fantastic starting DC for Strikey. Look at the shorefish. There's 5 patches of shortfish right next to DC. You'd think this was Indian clearing or African clearing or something. This is fantastic. Striker should be getting an amazing head start here with this TC spot. That's just pure gold the way he's placing that. Drug Viper has golden stone close to DC, but also has the shortfish further away. So yeah, that food income is a bit rougher. There's a deep fish to be taken in the middle here, so they definitely want to dock for this one, I think, for the deep fish and map control potential. Let's have a look at this sieves here. Striking with the Italians. Imagine if Striking were Indians here, it had to collect his showfish at ridiculous speed. But Italians have cheaper fishing ships. So once you get to dock up, your fishing ships are, I think they're 15% cheaper or something, so it's easy to get to them to begin with. We'll need some, I guess the next few villagers will go to wood here to be able to afford those first fishing ships. I think you could also use the villager to shore fish this one and this one. So she's gonna make herself useful, I think. So they're both docking. Drug Viper docking a deep fish here as well and taking the shore fish, indeed. They default to that once you complete the dock. But yeah, look at the food income here. It's 5 on food for Strikey. It's so not really queuing the fishing ships just yet, as opposed to Drug Viper who has 2 in the queue already. But yeah, that shorefish income is really playing into Strikey's favor here. Drug Vipers, Indians, I think, because the shorefish is so quick to collect, you would actually still collect food faster if you go straight for the shorefish and long distance collected here instead of the sheep. But don't quote me on that. I'm just speculating here if that's worthwhile. So Strikey with a much more consistent food income. Eco situation is similar because of Drunk Viper's fish, but if you look at the villager count, is 3 villagers ahead, and that's due to TC completion time and TC idle time here, making that difference. Look at the Indians' shorefish collection here, it's really fast. We could actually compare these two, and you'll see the Indians' collection in practice. See, that's 10, 7, 8, 9, 10. Like, yeah, 2 more food per turn or something. So what are the plans here? I mean, I think Indians could go scouts here. Even with the distance, I don't know if they know each other's locations. Maybe they'll just go straight for the... he's transporting a sheep. Is he going to Drug Viper, are you going to transport the sheep over to scout? Oh, I would never think of that. Never. This is brilliant. Or not. Okay, I'm a bit sad now that this sheep wasn't intended just to transport over to scout the other side. But still not thinking. Why Indians? If you're not going to mill or take the shorefish, this is a mystery to me. It's one of the best Indians bonuses for maps with shorefish on them. Shorefish situation not fantastic. Oh, never mind. Sorry, Drug Viper. You are indeed milling the shorefish, and this is a much better pond, of course. I spoke too soon. 3 villagers taking the shorefish here. Quite efficient. Efficient. Did you hear that, Akkal-AOE? Looks like Strikey is going to find the shorefish in the back. That's another nice shorefish spot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 patches of shorefish. 6 times 200, that would be 1200 foods worth. And quite well hidden away. You could even just quick house here to keep any ranged or melee aggression out, so I like that mill. A good spot. Alright, Drunk Viper. I'll be following the rest of the set. See you around. So let's have a look at the uptimes here. 1.5 minutes for both. Strikey with the wall off here as well. Wants to play it safe here with the Italians. Should be able to deal with the Indians' camels investment with the unique Genoese crossbow if played defensively like this. Looks like yeah, like sort of secure in the corner there. Sorry for the coughing, there's nothing I can do about that at the moment. And we have to restart. Just a moment. This recording was split up, so I'll need to pick up where we left off, which will mess a little bit with the stats as well, but nothing we can do about that. Game 3. Game 3B coming up. And we're picking up where we left off here. Alas, the stats reset when you pick up a restore like this. So don't trust the stats you're seeing, and it doesn't really matter at this point. We are already 16 minutes in. You okay? Keep going. Start the game. So I'm glad they could restore it, at least. That used to be an issue in many cases. So we have 4 on gold for Strikey. Strikey is going for the Castle Age. It's also cheaper for the Italians to go up through the ages. Going to mine stone now for a castle for potential map control here. Fishing ships doing their thing so that food income is mainly from fish at this point for Strikey. Actually, it's all fish. No farms yet. No need for farms yet. And 3 builders to stone, so... If not for a fast castle, we'll also be able to go for tower defense here, but this could be a good castle spot. Would cover, to some extent, both of the golds here. Neither of them are fighting for water, which is a bit peculiar to me. Strikey has a couple of fire galleys out, so yeah, he's going to take the fight. And Drunk Viper just now queuing the first fire galley as well. One versus one here, but the fire galley is targeting the fishing ship. So, that could be... Oh, that's so smart! Sending the transport ship in between, blocking the fire. So Strikey is going to survive with both fire galleys here and assume nice naval control here. Drunk Viper going for the scouts, but it's a very late scouts opening here for Drunk Viper. It's still great for scouting the map, but there's not going to be any opening here on the Strikey's side. Could delay this TC perhaps. The quick walls, not ideal. Fight them with villagers. Do we have any upgrades? No upgrades for the scouts. One villager might die, but if your villager micro is on point, you will win this fight, and that's only 1 eco unit lost for Strikey. Ah, nice house foundation there to keep the villagers safe, and now just complete that TC on the stone over here. Oh, yellow. Good scouting yet again from Drunk Viper here. Gets a good impression of the map, while Strikey also has decent scouting. Probably knows something about the location of Drunk Viper here. 3 fire galleys contesting this dock, while Drunk Viper doesn't. Q demolition ships here, but 2 demolition rafts could easily deal with this aggression when they're positioned like this. Strikey is ahead of things, so he's seen the flag and doesn't want to risk losing 3 ships in a couple of hits here, so he's spreading them out nicely to avoid that. However, Drunk Viper, very patient here. If that third Fire Galley completes before the dock goes down, Drunk Viper will be able to take a good fight here and take out at least one of those. But yeah, the dock is so weakened that the galleys go down. Good army control by Strikey again here. Will actually focus down these Fire Galleys before they can reach the same mass. And now Strikey will be taking out the one and only dock of Drunk Viper, who will now change plans and go for Indian Cav Archers, I presume. With Castle Age 130 away here. Another nice shorefish location here. 6 patches again of shorefish. Good for the Indians. Delays and the need for farms. Quite the while. The dock will be going down, Castage will be kicking in for Drunk Viper, now getting fletching and bloodlines for the Cav Archers here, as the stable is already up for the Scouts investment that hasn't really been giving any huge returns for Drunk Viper. I see 2 eco kills here, so that could be some villagers at some point. Strikey now with Spearman defense and 6 villagers on stone as well, wanting to get a defensive castle up somewhere here. That should keep a lot of the Cav Archer aggression away. Lovely back gold here. 2 golds actually secured by Strikey. 3 TCs working before Drunk Viper can even get to the castle age. Should be a massive, massive eco lead for Strikey already. So finally the second TC for Drunk Viper as well. Could have in theory gone up on the shorefish and the wood here, but still a good TC to secure the wood line. Outpost providing some extra intel here, and the villagers still shorefishing as well. Cav Archers now increasing in numbers. Could technically be used to kill fish as well, I guess. Even having lost the middle pond control to Strikey here. Strikey though is 200 villagers away, could even go Imperial Age here quite soon. And now the nice castle to the side here will probably place one on the right hand side as well to claim more control. Already has the middle, and through naval control could also use that to punish TC and economy on Drunk Viper's side. Cannon galleons, and that sort of thing. Even demolition ships, if you see Cav Archers wandering out into the middle here. Oh, Cav Archer's now out. Oh, is that an opening? Oh, the overchop! That's really bad news for Strikey. Thankfully, Strikey has a huge villagers lead here, but how does he deal with the Cav Archer mass at home base here? Now he has the 2 TCs, so the Cav Archers can easily pass into the rest of the economy. But Drunk Viper already getting 5 kills with these Cav Archers, 7-4 eco KD. Not enough to assume the lead, and Strikey will need to plug this gap ASAP. Just place a stone wall foundation or anything here to disallow the Cav Archers from entering again. The wood could be relocated to the back, so that's no problem. But really, really, really plug that gap. Don't let them back in. The Genoese crossbowmen are joining in here though, and they have bonus attack against cavalry. I'd assume that applies towards cavalry archers as well. Should be interesting to see. Spearmen in front, no pikeman upgrade yet, though it is affordable. 215 gold, 90 food, 90 gold for the pikemen, I think. Let's see. Oh, the spears. Getting some pokes in there, and the Genoese as well. Will force Drunk Viper to hit and run, but the spears are kind of a meat shield here and allowing the Genoese to get some hits in. See that? They did so much damage! They managed to kill 2 or 3 Cav Archers there, even in small numbers like that. Now just garrison inside the castle, I'd say, or collect some more numbers before engaging. In the Imperial Age, the Italians have access to the Condottiero as well, which is almost with the stats of a champion, except you don't need to go through all of those techs, so that could be a decent cost-efficient raiding unit to complement your Genoese as well. Two Genoese three-shotting a cav archer with bloodlines. These guys are no joke. They have fantastic bonus damage against the cavalry archers here, and Drunk Viper losing numbers now. A bit unfortunate that Strikey doesn't really send in large enough numbers here. It doesn't have the patience to, isn't patient enough to mass a larger group of Genoese here. So with that in mind, Drunk Viper can still take decent trades here. One conversion in with a monk though. Maybe planning to heal up the Genoese here. Yeah, look at that. They're just melting. 5 shots from a Genoese. How much is that bonus damage? I guess it's the cavalry bonus there. 5 bonus attack to cavalry, so yeah. Lots of damage. That's one ballsy TC from Drunk Viper, especially considering that Strikey has armies right around the corner here, but yeah, might still go up, who knows. They're sort of splitting the map in two now. That's the 4th TC for Drunk Viper. Behind in big time in villagers, even with lower idle TC time, because Strikey has been with 3, now also 4 TCs for so long. Barracks going up here, so going to double up on that Spearman investment, although Italians don't get Halberdier, so that's a bit confusing to me to go for the Spearman, but the barracks could of course be used for Condottieri in the Imperial Age as well. Elite Skirmisher switch now for Drunk Viper, will want to deal with the Genoese that way. Italians get Bombard Cannon as well, so Bombard Cannon, Genoese Crossbow, that's their death ball against Indians, I'd say. Still potential for the cav archers to enter here, but I think the damage potential is limited with their current upgrades. No ballistics, no husbandry, and even only fletching, not Bodkin Arrow. I guess the fights versus small numbers of Genoese would look different with Bodkin Arrow for Drunk Viper here. Still taking short in the back here. See, the amount of farms is nothing crazy for either of the players because they're bringing so much food from the shortfish still. Another bill going up here as well, so Drunk Viper getting that macro down. Now it's easy to castle to the left side for Strikey, as mentioned earlier. It has a comfortable score lead now. It has to do with more villagers, more military, naval, scouting, and numbers. Even going for the fish traps now. And yeah, getting that juicy food eco rolling. Drunk Viper nowhere near Imperial Age. Even with the Indians' fish income here, that can't really save Drunk Viper. With Italians halfway to the Imperial Age. Genoese crossbowmen here running into Spearmen, the skirmishers. Very bad news for Strikey. Doesn't pay attention here, loses lots of Genoese needlessly here. Will need a response to that, but Italians get Hussars, so that's not necessarily a huge concern here. More so for Strikey, definitely wants to make the Genoese crossbowmen more than anything here. They're both hoarding a lot of resources now. It's just not a good side for either player. You want to mass up on the units, but we have both the castles producing Genoese here for Strikey. Does he have a university actually? Would definitely want to get a university and chemistry in here. Here's the university, nice. And having seen the skirmishers, you need something against that. Knights, perfectly fine, of course, when you're floating food and gold anyway. But getting into Hussar for the Italians would work as well. Then you'd have gold and wood intensive unit in the Genoese crossbowmen, and you'd have the Hussars to complement that to deal with the elite skirmishers of Drunk Viper. Drunk Viper getting ballistics should make it slightly easier for these skirmishers to hit, but it's still stuck in the Castle Age, which is a huge concern here. Battering rams now for Strikey, and with the university presumably researching chemistry soon, we'll see the bomber cannons as well, and you'll have a very, very tough push to deal with. Genoese crossbowmen raiding a little bit down here as well. Strikey is slowly but steadily claiming a lot of map control here. Only one fish trap for Striker so far. Could definitely invest into a few more ones here. Cleans up the elite skirmishers though, and the Drunk Viper will need to replenish them. Does have two ranges with lots of skirmishers in queue, but needs more production buildings. I mean, if you have this kind of queue, it usually means that you would be able to sustain more production buildings consistently. So that's also one to keep in mind. Trebuchets out. Battering rams are out, and a random villager is going to her certain death over here. Light Cav gets one ram there, maybe. The Treb is actually TC range, that's funny. But the Genoese here and the Cavaliers will deal with anything that Drunk Viper can bring to the table here. At this stage, Italians have very good responses to almost anything the Indians can do, I think. Since Drunk Viper is in the Castle Age, at least, they could tweak the resources to go to Imperial, but what's Imperial Age going to give? The Drunk Viper leads army mass now more than anything, and it doesn't look good for the yellow player, even if the eco is still running and the villager count is somewhat similar. Yeah, Strikey definitely pushing here now. Chemistry is coming in as well, which means that Strikey might be investing into some bombard cannons. Look at the Cavalier numbers increasing as well, so you have some nice raiding potential here without Drunk Viper being able... I mean, even if Drunk Viper is indeed making the camels, but these are Castle Age camels, while Strikey has the Imperial Age Cavalier, but lacking some upgrades actually. So yeah, camels should still be doing nicely, but as once Strikey gets to the full upgrades, then Drunk Viper doesn't stand a chance. Strikey gets the second home map and is thirsty for revenge here. Let's have a look at the statistics before going into game number 4. GG Magnolia, indeed. Too bad we're missing the first part of the timeline due to the restore here, but you get the idea here. Strikey just skyrocketing here as the game goes on, and yeah, bringing home the W for this one. Gil, that's for the fishing ships even. Does have a good grasp of the technologies here, the players. Alright, game 4. Right around here. We are going to Drunk Viper's first home map, which is on Boundary Brawl. So this should be chaotic enough for sure. Yeah, let's just go right into it here. Look at the middle spawn here. Okay, so here's the special thing about this map. The middle is always visible. So you'll see everything here. So if your opponent tries to lame some of your rhinos, you'll see it. You'll be able to react. And you'll see if they disappear to the sides to find woodlands as well. There are also stragglers here to sustain you in the early game, but eventually, of course, you'll need to move to the side to get a lumber camp up and whatnot. There are some deep fish here, but nothing too crazy. Still worthwhile to have the middle control on water, because you could use demolition ships and naval armies to your advantage. I don't think there should be any significant difference in the TC completions here. You see the bars moving very similarly here. However, as the game progresses, we have Strikey with the Britons, Drunk Viper with the Malay going up 66% faster to the next age, which could provide some real nice power spikes. for whatever army composition you go for. Lots of food to be taken in the middle here. And Drunk Viper is going straight for the TC trick on the Rhino here. Hope he doesn't kill it with the TC. Looks like he's fine. And Strikey starting out with some zebras. I might fast forward a little bit as the game goes on, but for now we'll need to keep a little eye on if they try to lame each other's rhinos or not. I don't think they can though, with the TC placements being like this. Let's speed it up a little bit to see how they move the game on. One villager! Oh, restart! I see. Strikey loses a villager to war. There is a restart available before 4 or 3 minutes, I don't know. Seem to be in time anyway. And, okay. That's the restart then. Let's with the same sibs and see what the next start brings us. So it is obviously still Boundary Brawl with this middle part explored. TC placement. Oh, it's a bit more awkward this time. They could actually lame each other's rhinos here. So I'm liking these placements here. Maybe they can tell. Yeah, Drunk Vipers going right for one of the faraway rhinos here. So 1, 2. Alright, I think they've secured their starting food here, no problem. Strikey getting Loom even. Doesn't want to take any chances against the mighty Gaia here, like the previous game. I did call a re, probably because of losing the builder early on. Makes total sense. And now Drunk Viper is restarting. Did he lose a villager or something? Why re? Well... Excuse me. This is the remap, apparently. And third time's the charm. Let's hop into the game for C. And see who comes out on top here. We're at Boundary Brawl yet again. 3 elephants on Drunk Viper's TC here, I would say, and only 1 on Strikey's side. So this could be a concern for Strikey. And let's have a look-see here on how they solve that. They know that they see the middle. It's visible to everyone. And Drunk Viper already securing 2 elephants. It's going to be almost impossible for Strikey to steal this one. So if I'm Strikey here, I get a little bit disheartened by the lack of elephant food here. But it's also going to be a lot of decay here for Drunk Viper with 2 elephants at the same time. So in terms of food income, Drunk Viper isn't necessarily ahead, but he certainly denies 400 food of elephant of Strikey, so it's still good value. I'll just go semi-fast moving on here, because Dark Age on Nomad starts, it tends to be a little bit on the slow side. So, yeah, a little bit of speeding it up here until we get to the Feudal Age action, which might involve towers or other kinds of shenanigans here. They are so close to each other. You are able to afford 1 tower with the starting resources, so once you get to the Feudal Age, you could try and get up a tower and deny precious food of your opponent. It is an investment as well, though, of course. That 200 stone is stone you can use for town centers when expanding to the map later on. Strikey has moved out to the side, while Drunk Viper is still committed in the middle here and will be relying on straggler trees to bring in food. Wood, sorry. 3 elephants for Drunk Viper. And only 1 for Strikey, but there are other types of hunt here to be taken. There's berries. Not the biggest deal ever for the Britain's player here. Strikey, however, will want to collect some of these buffaloes, because Britons, they do collect herdables more quickly. For now, they're just long distance hunting and setting up their early economies. Their food investments are relatively similar, but Drunk Viper has had the hunt And maybe going up earlier because of that fact, because the hunt is collecting more efficiently than the berries do. Strikey is scouting a little bit with villagers as well. No horse for this map as opposed to the previous one. So snagging a lot of these water buffaloes, which is a welcome addition to the food sources. Might see the age up here for Strikey. The lumber camp and mill are in place. So there's the feudal age click indeed at 23 pop. And is he also with gold access? Has he found the gold? I mean, it's Britain, so Strikey probably will be wanting to go for the archers here. Still hasn't found a gold source, at least not on his side to the north here. Alright, so there's the fuel age for Strikey. What's the fuel age gonna bring for Strikey? We only have wood and food for Strikey. And no military production buildings as of yet. Ah, here it comes actually. Here goes the range. Barracks range for Strikey to the right hand side of the map. We'll try to contest Drunk Viper's resources with any luck. Strikey will be finding the wood line of Drunk Viper as well if he hasn't already. So archers over here could be of concern, unless the archers move on the hybrid terrain and Drunk Viper gets a lucky demolition shot in. He's actually going for the galleys here, which will make it a lot more awkward to collect the stray bushes and whatnot. But Strikey is also investing into the dock here, so they're both going to claim the water as well. Oh, here comes another dock for Drunk Viper. He's already thinking ahead with the Malay harbors here that fire arrows. I think by investing into more docks, getting a bit lucky here, but also unlucky because it's right next to Strikey's range, and the dock building woman will not be able to complete the dock just yet. With the galley out, though, Drunk Viper has some protection for the docking wielder and insists upon getting this one up. Second range for Strikey will double up on the already fast-producing Britain's ranges here. No fletching just yet. Strikey only 4 on gold, so to afford that fletching, that's going to be a bit expensive for now. Preempted defensive tower on the wood line. No hating on that, but the archers just keep moving on and dodge that tower. Try to find damage elsewhere instead. And Drunk Viper now palisade walling in range of Strikey. This is actually this shouldn't be happening, but hopefully this is not intentional. It's one of the bugs that were introduced recently, that when you place palisade foundations around a production building like this, even if they haven't been built yet, it will trap the builders inside. I don't think it makes a huge difference here because Drunk Viper has the galleys, but it's worth noting that this is considered a bug exploit, so if it's done on purpose, you risk disqualification, of course, but I'm assuming since the players aren't really discussing this, it should be fine. Finding the blacksmith for Strikey, and that castle age not too far off here. Once the blacksmith is up and Strikey has enough gold, the castle age could be on the way, and then we'll have Britain's crossbows. Once they get Balkan Arrow, they'll actually have 5+3 range, outranging mangonels. Archer's not doing too much here. There's not too much they can do around the tower either, but maybe they're also waiting for fletching before engaging here. So Strikey idling the wood a little bit as best as he can. In the naval situation, we have fire galleys versus galleys, but once the fire galleys get close enough, they'll be able to deal with the galleys very nicely. Archer versus galley, that's going to take them a while. You need a pretty decent mass to stop that, and having wall in one range here for Strikey, it's still good value. Is this going to be a block? Oh, go closer, then they can't escape. Yeah, still gonna get the galley there, getting one of them at least. Maybe both? I'm not sure if... Okay, I think Drunk Viper meant to repair the galley there, not attack the fire galley, but yeah. Anyway, Strikey gets the kill. We'll also use the fire galley now to... I think the plan here is to take out the palisade walls and free up the range again. Both players going to the cast stage, but Drunk Viper well ahead, being the Malay here. Could get War Galley. I don't see any land presence from Drunk Viper yet, so looks like a full naval play for the time being for Drunk Viper. Alright, here come the archers. We see as the castle age kicks in, Strikey will be able to get the castle up, could even make longbows, but I think it's just going to castle the middle maybe. Drunk Viper has not been mining stone, so Drunk Viper can't contest a middle castle. So if that castle goes up in the middle, Strikey will be able to claim the whatever is left on the middle here. If it's even worth it, maybe he'll just secure some of the sides instead, maybe some woodlines and golds over here. But definitely wants to get a castle up here, that's for sure. Britons have cheaper TCs as well, town centers, so with that kind of wood you could play 3 more TCs at least, as the Britons I think. Or another range, or make more archers. War galleys in for Drunk Viper, so Drunk Viper is insisting on the naval aggression here. Might be a misplay to invest this heavily into water, even if it's a big part of the map. There's still the gold is on the sides, right? So if you don't contest the land, your opponent is going to be just fine. Strikey, not messing around here. He is dropping a forward castle to deny 2 of Drunk Viper's woodlands. I mean, there are better spots. I mean, denying the gold and woodlands and TC here, for example, but it's going to allow you to produce longbows no matter what. And see Strikey the Boomer here with 2 more TCs going up as well. How is it going to... Oh, they're going the long way around these villagers. That's a long walk for that castle drop. But of course they don't want to pass through the middle and reveal themselves to the mighty Drunk Viper galleys. So we're seeing the Malay control the middle here. And the Britons, to some extent, controlling the land. Doc still up for Drunk Viper here, so funnily enough, if Drunk Viper gets the castle up and gets the unique technology harbors, he will actually have harbors firing arrows on land, complicating the production, Archer's production over here. Villagers, not safe to move from the middle to the land either. Drunk Viper getting some eco kills here. 7 eco kills total here now with the TC. Just now getting Loom. Ooh, that's a very late Loom. Very late Loom. No wonder he's getting eco kills here. There's no Loom. This castle right on the woodline. I think the galleys will still be able to range that, but they are out of position. And actually they don't have Balkan arrow, so yeah, this castle goes up. Drunk Viper doesn't even react for the time being. He's not pulling the galleys over, or is he? It's going to be too late anyway. This castle goes up. No question about it. Are we going to see some longbows dominance this game? That would be fun. We only have fletching though, and only have archers. I would indeed like to see Strikey flex with the longbows here. So, moving some villagers away. More rangers going up here for Strikey, so he doesn't really care about this side anymore. He's going to keep the production safe from enemy denial over here. Also taking the gold, so good planning here for Strikey, making good use of the forward. Longbow man in the mix, and now Drug Viper still with the naval control will be able to hit some of the land economy here and deny any fish, but aside from that, the land control is definitely in Strikey's hands at this point. It's only 6 military to 4, and Drug Viper has the eco advantage here. Maybe more consistent with villager production, looking at the idle TC times here. But this eco is also being contested by the Britain's range. Could be that Strike is delaying the Bodkin arrow due to the fact that the Britons get that extra range, but I really would like to see that come in as soon as possible as well. The food source, Strikey needs some more farms here, I think, to be able to afford those crucial upgrades. 200 food for Bodkin arrow. Scouting is decent for Strikey here, but as you can see to the left hand side, the Drunk Viper has been able to get the TC up here, so it's relocating and re-establishing some economy. Excuse me. It's not the game, it's just that I didn't sleep well enough last night. Crossbows and longbows raids here. Upgrades though, get the upgrades, use the market, use the force, Strikey, do whatever you have to get those upgrades. You could buy some food, get Bodkin arrow, and you wouldn't need to waste archers to TC fire because you have, you're outranging them with both the longbows and the crossbows. Bit unfortunate there. Good reaction from Drunk Viper, seeing that the units are in range, and down they go. They do chase units if they move away, so that's why these things happen sometimes. Army production, not really ideal for Strikey here. 7 crossbows total. Still no Bodkin arrow. So much gold in the bank. So when the eco is gold heavy like this, the market is coming in very handy. You can buy some food to at the very least get the upgrades and yeah, adjust as needed. Good relocation of the units here. The gold is off limits, but that's not too much of a concern. Strikey has, yeah, good overview over the resource to the sides. Drunk Viper now with the forward, and Strikey doesn't see it. Oh, is this going to be a castle drop? Where are they going? Where are they going? Surely Strikey sees this. There's lots of yellow dots on the minimap. They're trying to escape from the ram push over here and to relocate to what is essentially Strikey's side, where Drunk Viper has the armies. Is this going to turn into a base trade here? There's not enough stone for a castle drop, so I think it's just a means of securing builders and moving to a safe location here for Drunk Viper to reclaim some wood access. Gold situation, horrible for Drunk Viper though. He has a TC is now dropping a mining camp, while Strikey is trading like crazy from the market to get the castle up, by the looks of it. But Malay, crossbows keeping up here. They have Bodkin, as has Strikey, so Strikey has the range here. He's dropping a castle now to contest this forward expansion from Drunk Viper. But Drunk Viper bringing the crossbows in and for now denying that castle from going up. Strikey is actually outmatched in military numbers here now. And while the crossbow numbers are similar, they are in different sides of the map. So Drunk Viper definitely gets some decent rates in here. Strikey, however, has more eco kills and is keeping the eco numbers level here. Good trade for the Britons. Who needs range when you can just patrol in and... No, good trade for Drunk Viper, I mean. Who needs... What uses extra range when you run into numbers like this? The castle foundation goes down, so Trikey needs to relocate and maybe rebuild it some elsewhere. Could get one up on the hill here maybe, or something. Here comes the university for Drunk Viper as well, wanting to get into ballistics here for the units in question. There's lots of yellow on the map here now. The middle is still in Strikey's control, but what's that going to do for you when you're massively outmatched in military numbers? Fortifying control to the left-hand side for Drunk Viper as well. This is Drunk Viper's first home map after all, so you must have had a plan for it with the Malay here. Strikey, however, able to get a defensive castle up here, and Drunk Viper can't easily pass through here with the crossbow masses. So we're not going to see any Imperialization transition here anytime soon, but we might see another forward castle maybe on this side for Drunk Viper, or not another forward castle, but a forward castle. And yeah, the base trade is in effect striking now, moving south here. This is Nomad Maps, peak Nomad Maps movement here. No ballistics yet for Strikey, so the Britons don't get Thumbring, so Thumbring improves accuracy against non-moving units and faster firing rate, but ballistics just now kicked in, and it makes it easier to hit moving units as we're seeing here. Last remaining dock for Strikey, or maybe the only one in the whole game, is going down here to the right hand side. A ram push again. Something that Drunk Viper will have a response to, maybe. No, the mangonels are forward. Anyway, it's just a ram, so you could use builders to deal with that. Not as easy for Strikey on the woodline down here, worrying a little bit about the eco situation at home with the push coming in here. Whoever gets to the Imperial Age first here will be at a nice advantage, I think, and Drunk Viper is definitely, in a sense, closer, since Malay also go up more quickly. Full middle control means you could punish any units moving through the naval area here as well, if you're Drunk Viper, and in the Imperial Age getting those siege boats out as well, like siege, like cannon galleons, you'd be able to punish some of these TCs and production buildings that are close to the edge, even this castle. So Drunk Viper tries to forward castle, deletes his own outpost now to make sure the castle goes up, and there are galleys here to defend. Where are Strikey's crossbows? They seem to be out of position. They're doing damage for sure, but they can't stop this castle from completing. Yeah, this castle definitely completes, takes Strikey off yet another gold here. Strikey doesn't have gold access over here anymore either. Does he have gold access anywhere? Is going Imperial Age, so Strikey actually beating Drunk Viper to the Imperial Age here. There are castles on either side here, so Strikey could still contest the castles with the siege weapons, but the overall army situation is still concerning here. It's making use of both castles, making longbowmen. But Drunk Viper seems committed to the Castle Age offensives here, and he certainly has some advantage with the army numbers here. Could actually make good use of this Castle Age push. Nice little trap there to obstruct villager pathing. Strikey may not even know about the castle over here. He's running right into enemy area here. He's going to lose villagers to Castle Fire here, and I don't think he can pull them away in time. So that's a lot of villagers down for nothing. EcoKD is quite similar, but Drunk Viper has more villagers, however, is not in the Imperial Age, and that could be a deciding factor for Strikey here, with the extra range that the Britons get for their ranged units also in the Imperial Age, and the Trebs, potentially even Warwolf Trebs, to act like a pseudo-onager for Strikey's masses, if the eco allows. There's the Imperial Age, market being used by Strikey as well, getting handguard here to improve eco efficiency. He will need something to deal with the units movement of Drunk Viper here now. Even the Malay Light Cav here, they don't even get the feud lane, they don't even get the Castle Age armor upgrade, so they are going to struggle in the grand scheme of things here, but regardless, they are here. Strikey has invested into Rams, will be able to get Captram as well from the Siege Workshop, which will slay buildings more quickly and make it tougher for enemy units to focus them down like this. And it looks to me like Drunk Viper plans to go to the next age as well. Enough stone for almost 3 castles here, meaning Trebuchets, Malay get bombard cannons as well, so that's an option. Villagers fighting, battering down the rams here as well, and yeah, there's still some army from Strikey here. As you can see, the crossbows have 5+4 range, but with the castles all over the place, there's a limit to how much Strikey's armies can accomplish here, unless these castles are dealt with. Drunk Viper really needs that Imperial Age though. Is at massive military lead here, but is lagging behind in technology progress, and that is a concern here, even if you have the military lead. Take out buildings with archers. This is a real archer-heavy matchup. Have a look at the total population of 125 to 82. Drunk Viper, lots of yellow on the map, definitely still in a good spot here is using the light cab to raid the middle and expose some of the food income of Strikey as well, so that Strikey can't easily afford the upgrades needed. Arbalest is in for the Britons. They now have 5+4 range. Once Bracer comes in, they'll have 5+5 as well. And if you want a 5+6 range Arbalest, you could also take into the Castle Age unique tech from the castle's Yeoman. That will give another range to the Foot Archers. So we're approaching the 1 hour mark here after 2 restarts on this map. And looking at the general population and the general army situation, Drunk Viper is in a fantastic spot, but he's so far behind to the Castle Age, Imperial Age, I mean, that that could backfire a bit here. We'll see. Arbalest coming in. Prop rotation coming in, is it? I'm thinking about elephants here, maybe? With 40% cheaper elephants to deal with the Arbalests. Nice, going Cavalier. Don't go Cavalier with Malay. They barely have any defense. It's probably a reaction to potential skirmishers later on, but... oh, the Malay cavalry is really bad. And don't even have any upgrades in here. I think he's just aiming to snipe the Treb here. Will he succeed? He won't, because there's no armor on the, no significant armor on the Malay cavalry. Let's see if the Arbalists are allowed to get close enough, though. They don't have Bracer either, but it's on the way. Once Bracer kicks in, Drunk Viper will actually almost match the Britain's range here, but what does it matter when they're just at the standstill here? Strikey losing some numbers now, down to 8 military, while Drunk Viper is at 26 and counting. And I think True Repairs is going to keep this castle alive as well. The GG is called. Drunk Viper taking the win. Good luck next, says Strikey. And that's where it ends for the first semi-final. Oh yeah, I would say Drunk Viper over-invested into the naval situation there. So with a little bit better army control on planning on land for Strikey, that could have gone very differently. But it was Drunk Viper's home map after all, so we can't really blame Strikey for not enduring this one. Of course, would also is in the mindset we'll have to do a reverse sweep to take this game all to the finals. Drunk Viper also being seed number 1, keeping the favorite stamp here after this matchup. Let's have a look at the stats. I'm going to need a small break, and I'll cast the next set as well. Joey Pura Vida versus Plotter Ghost, I believe. Yeah, here we go. 8 p.m. chart showing. What's that? Ooh, 124 tops here. So Viper seems to be a Drunk Viper seems to be a past 8 p.m. player. GG for that one. Let's move into the next as soon as we can. Just a small break first.